The Democratic Republic of Congo is coming after Apple and other tech giants for the minerals stolen from its nation. Every year, millions of smartphones, laptops, and gadgets are sold worldwide. Behind their sleek designs and advanced technology lies a hidden story, a narrative of conflict, exploitation, and human suffering in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. While technology has transformed lives globally, making communication instant and information accessible, it has also come at a significant cost. Today, we delve into the landmark legal battle between the DRC and one of the world's most powerful tech giants, Apple. On December 17, 2024, the DRC filed criminal complaints against Apple's subsidiaries in France and Belgium, accusing the company of using conflict minerals, resources mined in war-torn areas, and linked to human rights abuses. Will this case mark a genuine step towards change in the region, or is it merely a political stance by the Congo government aimed at exploiting the situation? Adding to the complexity of this issue, protests and activism against Apple's supply chain practices have gained international attention. One notable event occurred in May 2024 when activists vandalized an Apple store in Berlin. The protest, led by Congo activists and anti-capitalist groups, was intended to draw attention to the exploitation linked to conflict minerals in the tech industry. Many people have since criticized the vandalism as ineffective, whilst others argued that it successfully raised awareness about an issue that is often ignored. Come to think of it, it's quite ironic that many protests against Apple actually involve the use of high-end Apple products which may themselves contain conflict minerals. This just goes to highlight how deeply embedded these minerals are in our daily lives, making it difficult to fully separate ourselves from the problem. Furthermore, we cannot understate corporate greed which has perpetuated this exploitation for decades, and without significant pressure from both governments and consumers, these companies are unlikely to change their practices voluntarily. So, what exactly are conflict minerals? Conflict minerals refer to valuable resources such as tin, tungsten, tantalum, and gold, collectively known as the 3TG minerals. These are essential for producing components found in modern electronics, from smartphones to electric vehicles. Without them, the world of technology as we know it would not exist. In the DRC, these minerals are abundant, but instead of being a blessing, they have become a curse. Armed groups have fought for control over mining operations, using the profits to fund their activities and perpetuate violence in the region. The United Nations estimates that these groups earn substantial sums each month from illegal mining. The profits from these minerals have fueled decades of violence, leading to the displacement of millions and countless human rights violations, including forced labor, sexual violence, and child exploitation. Entire communities have been torn apart, and the cycle of conflict continues as armed groups vie for dominance over resource-rich areas. When you think about it, every single one of us likely owns a product containing cobalt, mined by artisanal miners in the DRC. This isn't just about Apple, it's about a global system heavily reliant on cheap resources extracted from exploited regions. You can't escape the uncomfortable reality that the convenience and progress we enjoy come at a human cost. A cost that, for many years, has been paid and continues to be paid by Africans living in this region. Beyond just local conflicts, the exploitation of these minerals has global implications. The supply chains that connect remote mining towns in the DRC to high-tech factories in developed countries reveal a harsh reality: that modern technology is often built on the backs of the world's most vulnerable people. Having looked into this issue in more depth, it's quite clear that regional dynamics play a huge factor in enabling it. This case is not just about Apple. There's broader geopolitical issue involving neighboring countries and the DRC. Kinshasa accuses some of its neighbors of backing armed groups to control mining areas in regions like North Kivu and South Kivu. These accusations are supported by various reports which show that groups like M23 generate significant revenue from illegal mining. Since the late 1990s, the mineral-rich regions of eastern DRC have been flashpoints for violence, with various armed groups, often with external backing, vying for control. Aside from Rwanda, other neighboring countries, including Uganda and Burundi, have also been accused of being complicit in the illegal exploitation of minerals from the DRC, all of which have vehemently denied any involvement. However, evidence presented by NGOs paints a different picture, with large quantities of smuggled minerals entering neighboring countries and being exported to the world. This dynamic underscores the complexity of the issue, where geopolitics, corporate interests, and local realities intertwine. Moreover, the DRC has criticized international partners, including the European Union, for striking deals with Rwanda that effectively legitimize the export of these minerals. This has added another layer of tension to an already volatile situation, highlighting the need for coordinated regional and international action. So, here's the overall global perspective. Apple is not the only company implicated in the conflict minerals crisis. Reports have also named other major corporations whose supply chains may be tainted by illegal minerals. The issue extends far beyond a single corporation. It is a systemic problem affecting the entire tech industry. The legal case against Apple has sparked global protests and renewed calls for greater corporate accountability. Many observers hope that this case will set a precedent, forcing tech companies to clean up their supply chains and support ethical mining initiatives. If successful, it could pave the way for similar actions against other multinational corporations, creating a ripple effect throughout the industry. This also raises important questions for consumers. How much do we really know about the origins of the products we use every day? And what responsibility do we have to demand better practices from the companies we support? Now, let's look at some potential solutions. While you might think that boycotting minerals from the DRC would be an effective way of dealing with this issue, many critics argue that such a move would do more harm than good. It risks hurting legal miners and local economies, while potentially allowing armed groups to continue profiting unchecked. Instead, they call for tougher regulations, better oversight, and more cooperation with local authorities to ensure that minerals are ethically sourced. Certification schemes were designed to trace minerals and ensure conflict-free sourcing. However, watchdogs have raised concerns about their effectiveness, citing instances of smuggling, corruption, and forced labor being overlooked. The failure of such schemes points to the need for more robust mechanisms and genuine commitment from corporations. There is a growing consensus that a collaborative approach is needed, one that involves governments, corporations, NGOs, and local communities working together to build ethical and sustainable supply chains. Only by addressing the root causes of the conflict and supporting local communities can lasting change be achieved. In my view, reducing global demand for these minerals and their use could inevitably drive down their value and need. However, this approach requires the development of alternative materials and technologies before it can be fully realized. Another solution would be to invest in local infrastructure, ensuring fair wages for miners and providing alternative livelihoods, forming a more sustainable solution. But one thing's for sure, without these efforts, the cycle of exploitation and violence is likely to continue. To conclude, the case against Apple is more than just a legal battle. It's a fight for justice, accountability, and the future of a region that has long suffered in silence. It shines a spotlight on the dark underbelly of the tech industry, where the quest for profit has too often come at the expense of human lives. While international corporations bear significant responsibility, it's important to acknowledge that African countries also have a crucial role in mitigating this crisis. There needs to be more unity within the region and across the continent, because an attack on one African nation is an attack on the whole continent. The DRC must be freed from these ongoing struggles and exploitation in order for its people to progress and for the nation to realize its true potential. As consumers, we have the power to demand change. By supporting ethical sourcing and holding corporations accountable, we can help ensure that the technology we use does not come at the cost of human lives. This is not just a fight for the DRC, it is a fight for a fairer and more just world. Know the cost behind your tech, demand ethical sourcing, support justice, and more importantly, let us work together to build a better, bigger, and stronger narrative for Africa by overcoming the challenges faced today